Let's bring in former U.S. Director of National Intelligence and CNN National Security Analyst James Clapper. He joins us now from Washington. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. Good to see you again. These charges that are out there, the new charges against Huawei, accuse Huawei of violating sanctions, of breaking U.S. laws, of bad business practices. But is Huawei a security threat and a counterintelligence threat to the U.S.?
Well, absolutely. I think been a long-standing concern of the U.S. intelligence community that any of the Chinese telecommunications, IT and telecommunications companies like Huawei, like ZTE, for example, have to be considered as extensions of the Chinese intelligence service. In fact, Chinese law encourages, if not mandates, that when called upon, these companies will cooperate with the Chinese government. So in our view, the view of the intelligence community, and I think it's still true today, they consider this a profound counterintelligence threat. In fact, during the announcement of the indictment, FBI Director Wray kind of made that point, that these companies pose both an economic threat, an economic challenge, as well as a challenge or threat to the U.S. national security.
Got it. So China, a profound threat to America's economy, to America's security as well. But, you know, in terms of national security threats, it seems like a lot of the focus, a lot of the attention has been on Russia. So between Russia and China, which one represents the biggest long-term threat to the U.S.?
Well, I think in the short term, the near term, particularly as long as Vladimir Putin is running things in Russia, for a number of reasons, Russia poses a great threat to us. Long term, though, clearly it's China, and because of their economic power and their scientific and technical prowess, and of course their impressive and I think disturbing military modernization program. So in the near term, Russia, long term, clearly China.
Got it. So China, a long-term threat to the United States. Huawei, a profound security threat to the United States, in your words. And we know that Huawei has been in business for a while and recognizes a threat for years. So why has it taken so long for the U.S. to take action? Why is it that the previous administration did not act on Huawei?
Well, actually, a lot was done in the last administration, basically to warn potential American partners of the counterintelligence threat that these companies pose. What's interesting about this, though, that these were criminal charges, bank fraud and crimes like that are quite apart from the counterintelligence threat posed by this company. And this apparently, the development of this case has been going on for some time.
Got it. But under the current Trump administration, the pressure is on Huawei on various fronts. Do you think the Trump administration will be effective at containing the threat that Huawei poses?
Well, I don't know. That will remain to be seen. But I would think a criminal indictment like this would certainly put a damper on the business prospects in this country. The extent to which people deal with the likes of Huawei, I really can't say. I don't know the extent of that, particularly currently.
Yeah, we would just have to wait and see on that. And there's the old saying, you know, the best defense is a good offense. And yes, you know, the U.S. right now is going after Huawei in a big way with these criminal charges, but can the U.S. do better on defense? And what I mean by that is, you know, focusing on building up labs, building up R&D centers, and overall industrial competitiveness.
Well, you know, that's you can always do better, no matter what you're talking about. So, yes, we need to do more in the way of cyber defense, particularly given the purloining of intellectual property, which is pervasive and widespread by the Chinese. So yes, you can never have too much defense.
James Clapper, always a pleasure to have your thoughts and your analysis on this program. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thanks for having me.